One of those great inevitabilities of working around the home and garden is moving stuff. Bulky stuff, heavy stuff, awkward stuff. Now, you can do it the hard way, like this, or you can get smart and do it the easy way. A trolley or a wheelbarrow may not be something that you pull out of your shed every week, but you'll certainly be glad to have one when you do. Here are a few of my tips on picking the right ones for your needs and using them safely. To work out which is best for you, the smart starting point is to get a handle on the major difference between the functions of the two. Put simply, a wheelbarrow is best suited to loose loads, while a trolley is ideal for bulkier single item loads. So first, let's have a look at the important parts of a wheelbarrow that you need to consider when you're shopping for one. The major thing you need to consider first is the tray. You'll find poly trays, or to give them their full name, UV stabilised polypropylene, or steel trays. These are generally galvanised and powder coated. The difference between poly and steel can become a bit of a Holden versus Ford thing. Traditionalists are likely to stick with steel, as it does tend to be easier to clean, particularly if you're mixing cement. But in many respects, poly is more durable as it tends to flex without denting, so it's ideal for bricks and rubble. Barrows are mainly described by their tray volume. Both of these are 100 litres, and that's pretty typical for a medium to large size barrow. A wheelbarrow uses the principles of leverage to lift, so it stands to reason that you need comfortable and strong handles. Your hands should fit around easily and not feel like they're slipping. There are two material types, tubular steel with rubberized grips and the old school hardwood handle. Personally, I prefer hardwood handles. They absorb the bounces and bumps a little bit more, so that means less stress on you during a heavy-duty barrow workout. If you're after a heavy-duty barrow, it's important to look at more than just the tray. The stays, these bits down to the front here, and the legs need to be pretty solid. Make sure there's good cross bracing too. Remember, the legs don't just take the weight when resting, they work as brakes as well. Here's a bit you mightn't notice, but it's very important. The baseboard ties the frame together and stops the whole barrow from feeling wobbly. The more substantial the baseboard, the more heavy duty the barrow. And finally, we arrive at the important part, the wheel. In many respects, it's a case of the bigger the better, as the larger the wheel, the easier it is to get the barrow moving. This one's a 16-inch diameter. The tyre width and profile is important too. For garden and landscape use, you want a wide square or semi-square profile. This one's 6.5 inches wide. Wider square tyres won't sink into lawn, soil or gravel as much as narrow rounded ones. And a couple of quick wheelbarrow use tips. Never fill your barrow so that you can't see the path ahead or that the load is beyond your comfortable liftability. Remember, it's not just about the lifting, you have to be able to push and control your barrow as well. Lift with your legs, not your back, so bend those knees. And if you lose control of a load, do not try to stop it, just let it go. It's easy to forget how heavy a load can be, and once you've lost the advantage of leverage, it's unlikely you'll have the strength to save a tipping wheelbarrow without injuring yourself. Here's a simple trick for getting a bulky object into a wheelbarrow. Lay the barrow beside the load and roll or move the load into the tray. Then use the legs as a lever and roll it upright. And what about steps? Well, you can bump a barrow up or down a set of steps, but you're risking losing the load and it's potentially dangerous. Or you can get one of these very spiffy doodads, a fold-out 2.2 metre long ramp. It only takes seconds to put in place and you've got safe, heavy-duty access. Now, a trolley is much more single-purpose, but very useful nonetheless. In many respects, you're looking for a lot of similar features to what you're looking for in a wheelbarrow. You want comfortable, strong handles. You'll find a range of configurations and often a combination of each, such as this one with dual handles and a P-handle. A strong welded frame is a must, and this one has load guards to help prevent scratching. When it comes to carrying capacity, trolleys are rated by the maximum weight they can handle. Now, this one's rated at 250 kilos. That puts it into the heavy duty category, and that makes it ideal for virtually anything you need to shift around the home and garden. The size of the load you can carry is determined also by the size of the toe plate. It should be at least 1/3 the depth of the load. Tyre type is very important. If you're using your trolley mainly outdoors, then you'll want wider tyres. And rather than hard wheels, pneumatic are better outside as they roll over things like rocks and twigs without getting stuck. These tyres are also gel filled, so no flat tyres. If you plan to carry bags a lot, then you'll need a trolley with wheel guards so the load doesn't rub on the tyres. And a few trolley use tips for you. To get a load onto your trolley, tilt the load slightly and then slide the toe plate underneath before tilting back. Avoid top-heavy loads, especially if the centre of gravity is above the handles, and always strap taller loads onto the trolley. Always face the load on your trolley and never overload the trolley so you can't see where you're going. And steps? Trolleys can handle them quite well. Just take it slow and steady. Or better still, use a trolley with stair climbing wheels. Well, that's about it really. Oh, but don't forget, always make sure you store your gear clean and dry and put it away somewhere out of the weather. So, happy and safe shifting.